Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by cruiserweight legend and obviously Sky pundit Johnny Nelson. Johnny, how you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. You know what? It's nice. Good again. It's back in action, back in London. Looking forward to the show in October. It's going to be wicked. Today, we try and read so much in on a press conference, and it's just intriguing. But the talk stops when the fighting starts.
And John, before we go on talking about Buatsi and Azeez, you look like incredible shape. You've done some serious weight, clearly. What's your secret, I guess?
You know what? My secret motivation was I think when I was in Saudi, I was talking to AJ and I weighed 2 stone more than him, and he looked like an Adonis. I'm thinking, what is wrong here? So
don't add up.
Yeah, I didn't add up. So give myself a plan. Worked on it well. And I think healthy body, healthy mind, and it's kind of the mindset.
Is there like an end goal?
End goal is I want to probably get down to probably like 100 kg, stay there, be comfortable, and to me that's it. And just stay there and just live that comfortable life.
Jake Paul exhibition? Or?
No, let me just make it quite clear. That's never going to happen. You see these young guys doing what they're doing, and you look at your people like Jake Paul. I think he's doing an amazing job. And like it or not, there's some boxing snobbery going on, but people like him, they actually do our sport massive favours, and some fighters won't like that shit, but that's how it is.
Buatsi, Azeez, clearly close friends, maybe slightly less so since camps have begun. Does that mean we're going to get more of a chess match type of fight, or sometimes could it be that familiarity breeds contempt?
That's exactly what it does, and Buatsi's always been the top dog when it comes to those two, crossing swords, and I believe he still believes. It's going to be hard to respect someone that you probably didn't respect enough to be a threat before. For Azeez, the job's easier because he knows he's got a mountain to climb, so he's going to bring everything to the table and expects everything because he's always been used to being on the receiving end working with Buatsi. This is like styles-wise, Evander Holyfield style and the Marvin Hagler style. That style to me is a great mix. It's a great combination. These guys don't have to be bad blood. It's like it's professional pride and respect for oneself. So when they get in there, it'll be an honest, professional, good fight, and these guys will get the job done. And so I know we try and build a narrative around that. There's bad feeling. There's no bad feeling. But these guys, they want to be successful. Number one is fighting number two. How often does that happen? It doesn't happen. So you've got guys that are in a position where one wants something that's in front of them, and therefore they could have had boxed for a world title before this, but they want to go in there and not just make the numbers up boxing for the world champ title to be, you've got a chance. They want to go in there thinking, I'm going to win this. So I think choosing this fight was the best move, best suggestion, best option for them to do for themselves.
We talked about narratives. I think, it's Chambo, Isaac Chamberlain, gate crashing interviews.
Always.
Johnny won't push you away like we saw Florian do with Congo earlier, so that's thankful for that. Johnny, we talked about narratives. One narrative I think we can agree on is that thus far, Buatsi has maybe underachieved a little bit given his amateur pedigree, and Azeez has maybe overachieved, especially in the last year or so. Does that help with the momentum behind Azeez?
It does help, but for Buatsi, he's looking at Azeez thinking, this young man has come and all of a sudden he's talking of the town. I'm better than him. I've achieved more than he has. So now it might have put a firecracker up his ass to say, nah, that's not right. And that might be the fight. That's the fight that's making him think, right, I want momentum. He's made promotional moves in his career to make that happen. So both fighters have done something active to get this on, to get themselves in a position of success.
Now, there's another big fight, cruiserweight, your old division, of course, on the bill between Mikel Lawal and Isaac Chamberlain, who we just saw making a cameo in this interview. What do you make of that? Because that seems like genuine bad blood. The less they talk, the more convinced I was that they hate each other.
So over your shoulder right now, Isaac Chamberlain's done an interview for ITV. On your left, on my right, you've got Lawal. He's dead-eyeing him hard, trying to get his gaze, get his attention. Trust me, there's no foolishness there. It's proper bad blood there, as if to say, I don't like what you're about. I know that, I can see that. Isaac Chamberlain's great at causing trouble in an empty room, and Lawal's a no-nonsense kind of guy. And he didn't want to really engage verbally, directly with Isaac, but he also didn't want Isaac to buoy him up, make him look a bit soft. So, and he's come dressed dapper, got the gloves on, he's thinking, ain't no nonsense in business. So both fighters know, there's a lot at stake here, but to me, it's a great fight.
Need to reflect on the weekend. I'm sure I won't be the first person or the last today to ask you about the Joshua Helenius fight. Given it was a short notice job, you could talk about Helenius' level, but Joshua was preparing for someone else. How do you assess his performance? What grade would you give him?
Anthony Joshua was, he'd be damned if he did, damned if he didn't. Went the distance, he'd be damned. If he didn't get rid of him, he'd be damned. And he gets rid of him, he's damned. Anthony Joshua got the job done. And when he did get the job done, you thought, aha, there it goes. Up to that point, there were some boos. I don't know who it was for, which one of them, but there were some boos because, and I think fans are used to seeing the crash bang wall up, get him out of there, Anthony Joshua. So they were fed. They were fed what they're looking for. For Anthony Joshua, he eventually, once he had that total belief in everything he could do and he knew what was in front of him, when he let the shots go, when he let the knockout shot go, it was natural, it was instinctive, it was committed. Up to that point, he was half in, half out, half committed. But you can see the growth, you can see the development of the mindset. Now, in my head, he's a former two-time heavyweight champion of the world. Those days are done now. So now when you get in there, you need to be sure of what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it, if you're doing it, why you're doing it. Not need a few rounds to figure it out. And because you can't get in there with a Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, or Usyk again, half in, half out. You've got to go in there with intent and full belief to say, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it. Don't think twice about it, because that split second when you're thinking twice about it is when those men will catch you. And so we saw he's capable of doing it when he got rid of him. Up to that point, there was little things about him where he wasn't committing his feet, he wasn't committing the right hand, he wasn't committing certain things. Even though his jab was brilliant, even though he was on the front foot, even though he'd gone in there with an opponent that he's not prepared for, again, it's about what you can do. He's going to ignore the naysayers, ignore the ones that are giving him shit, because if you make the negatives of what they say to play a part in your mindset, then they've won. Why would you listen to someone that's never done it before? Why would you ask the opinion of people that have never trained as hard as you, have never had to give the commitment as hard as you? So if their opinion influences your mindset, you're the idiot, not them. And that's where the issue is. Why? That's what I'm saying. It's like a lion taking advice and having an argument with a donkey. You understand? It don't add up. Why would you? You just think you're a donkey. That's who you are. This is what I do. And so AJ's got to think like a lion and stop listening to the donkeys.
How much of a concern is it that being half in, half out, some have called it gun shy, others have called it cerebral. How much of a concern is it being like that going into a potential Wilder fight next? Because he's someone you can't wait for.
Well, number one, I don't know. I'm just watching Issa walk past. Oh, I just getting in his face. Number one, I don't know what cerebral means. Number two, thoughtful. Yes, he's thoughtful. He's very thoughtful. That and AJ's problem is an intelligent guy. And in the fight game, that's a problem because when you overthink it, you ain't got time to do that. You haven't got time to overthink because someone's going to clap you. And so AJ needs to fix that side of it. And that's what I'm saying. He's got enough pedigree, had enough successes. He's achieved so much for him to still be double thinking, double guessing, overthinking what he's doing. He knows he's capable of doing it. He knows he can let the shots go. He knows what he's capable of doing. But he's still, at times you think, come on AJ, man. You've got to understand the reason why there's so much money in our game right now is because of you. What you've achieved with so little experience is because of you. The excitement, the hysteria, the fan base is because of you. He's got to believe in what he wants everybody else to believe in himself. He needs to forget listening to those around him and to forget listening to those negatives like, can I do it, can't I do it? He needs to own his shit, own who he is. And in thinking like that, you will go in there, you walk in like a king, you think, I can do this, I belong here, I've achieved it, I've proved it. And once that penny drops, 100%, then AJ will think, I feel satisfied. No matter what the outcome is, I've given it my all. I've boxed, I've got in there, I've boxed, I've been on point, on the front foot, done what I've done, used my power. And if you get beaten by the better man, you get beaten by the better man. Right now, he's still kind of battling with kind of Carter.
If he doesn't snap out of it, if he continues to overthink, what's the prognosis for a Wilder fight?
Well, it won't happen next, the Wilder fight.
Okay.
I don't believe it happens next. And AJ said I want to box 2 more times this year. Eddie's saying we want that fight. The conversation's going. Doesn't mean the fight's happening next. It just gets the 2 names together in conversation. If I was his team, you know, AJ, he trained brilliantly. He got the job done. I want to see him walk in there knowing he's ticked every single box of doubt. When he ticks every single box of doubt, when he goes in there, he's not going to give Wilder that split-second chance to let that shot go because it means half in or half out. So the chances of it happening next, in my humble opinion, I don't think it does happen next. And I wouldn't want it to happen next. But it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
And right now, if it did happen next, even though you've said it probably won't, who would your money be on?
They're both phenomenal punchers. My money would be on Wilder because AJ, again, is half in, half out. A fully committed AJ to think this is what I'm doing, this is what I can do, I'd say AJ.
Johnny, really, really appreciate your time, and looking forward to the fights coming up. Cheers, mate.